Hi guys. Um, so I think I'm gonna be starting a new YouTube channel, and basically it's gonna be what I think should be what I'm gonna discuss or just have a look at are sales jobs in South Africa. So just to give you a heads up of who I am, started in a small school well, not small, yeah, it's relatively small private school in Bombela in about '08. Got a BA honors in events and tourism, thinking that the 2010 economy is gonna rock. We're gonna have stadiums like the UK. They're gonna be jobs in that market. Dololo didn't get a job for maybe a year and a half or close to a year after I graduated, and first job that I got was a telesales job in Cape Town. Doing sports events. So generally, what I had thought, and sales is usually where you start off, um, specifically from the marketing side or so. And from then on, but you know, the guys didn't promise me what I thought was going to be happening. They sold me dreams, things like you earning 12,000 rand, and then from then on it's calm and all that stuff. So obviously, it was a bit tough to get the jobs around. So what had happened was that as soon as I got the offer, being so naive and excited and convincing the parents that no, this is the way to go. Parents also just being like, my man, you've grown, so take your own path, pack the bags in the car and drove down to Cape Town. Jiggy jiggy just to find that in actual fact, now imagine now, I've already signed the lease before I signed the contract. I signed the lease where the job was like 3,500, 4,000 rand basic, and then if you do sell, you can make 12,000 rand up to and more 12,000 rand in com. Now, but this is the time where things were bad. So mining companies weren't entertaining, big companies weren't entertaining. The 2010 fever had died out, all that stuff. So no sales were being made there. Lost it about 3 months. So luckily I had enough in my pocket just to survive a couple of months. I was getting supported from home, whether it was my brother, my mom, my dad, friends, uncles, all that kind of stuff. So it was a big wake up call. It was a big wake up call, just to see like, oh, okay. Actual fact, there are certain degrees that are actually quite useless, specifically in South Africa. Um, and if you actually don't have a BCom, you really don't have anything. So that was my perception at the time. Uh, so I found some waiting jobs. Waited for a couple of months just to make sure that I could at least meet half the rent, and then I could cover my own costs like for food and stuff like that. And and then whatever half I could get from home covered me out. Sublet the other. It was a loft apartment, so there was some space and stuff like that. Got a couple of guys that I'd met in Cape Town that needed a place to stay. So I was like, all right, guys, grab the couch. You could pull out the couch for an extra bed, and then rented that out. So it made sure that whatever we were making, I could cover costs month to month until the lease ran out for those 12 months. Um, and luckily enough, one of the guys who had moved to a different company, also doing events, but this time more engineering, finance, agriculture, that kind of stuff. Also telesales, and yeah, I got the job there. Uh, Thanks to the waiting, left that job, and now once again they get into a position where in that interview they're like, no, you can make a lot of money. You can write your own paycheck, which is literally true, but theoretically it's not true. So if you're in a conferencing space, already, for example, usually there's about a set number of sponsors you can get, physical sponsors. There's only a set number of spaces you can sell, and then there's a fixed, depending on the type of conference, there's a fixed amount of delegates that you can have. People actually paying for seats and stuff. So you can't really write your own paycheck, because what would happen is that with the sponsorship stuff, there's incentives for guys to, or the companies to sign on site. And if they sign on site, they get a significant discount and all this other stuff. So you find that maybe even 50% of the business is done, and there's a structured team to handle that already. Um, so what you'd find is an entry level, you get delegates and you get the people coming in, and it's your job to hunt those leads from the people that kind of that generate interest. But we'll get into that. After a year and a half, Cape Town being Cape Town, or close to 2 years, I realized that where I was, limited growth, and yeah, we'll get into that. So got poached on via LinkedIn. Once again, this woman got on there. It's a HR representative saying, there's a technology company that's a startup. They've got exclusive rights to what, and all this other stuff. So I was like, okay, I was a bit hesitant, but they were going to pay me more. And I saw the contract, went for the interview, did the visual interview, and the guys were like, awesome, you're the guy that we need. So I'm like, all right, guys, so I'm leaving. Thanks a lot. Go to the new company. Get there, start up, all that stuff, good things. But the guys hadn't had the office set up. The guys hadn't had contracts set up. They hadn't had exclusive rights. It was just a standard agreement. And the reason why he was able to get that is, my belief was that he used to work for a previous company, and he had the network to go to the main manufacturer, the supplier for this tech. And it's nothing spectacular. It was like printing stuff, office supplies, like automation, all that kind of stuff. But after a month, it was like, nah, these guys lied to me. It's not what they promised. So I'm out. Left. Came back home, started a small business, startup, all that stuff. Doing flowers and still running it. Sold into hotels, into little businesses, and it was decent. It was a very decent business. But at some point, we went into farming, and then that started burning cash. We started having labor, inputs, all that kind of stuff. So I had to go back to work. It was like, cool, no problem, business is still running, as long as I can just cover costs. Because essentially, within 2.5 years, savings were depleted. So go back, find a job online, and it's selling alcohol, being a rep. But what they have is they have tiers of the level or the type of clientele that you can go to. So the job that I had, you had to use your own car. At some point, you use your own fuel, and then they'll refund you. But we only looked at taverns. So the contract that they had was, obviously there'd be the suppliers, and then they had their own contracts or their own reps, and then under that, so they went to like bottle stores, restaurants, all that stuff, and then under that was us, who would go to the taverns, shebeens, smaller nyana shops here and there, who were starting out and had liquor licenses. No stress, job. I was like, let's go. We did that for about maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then I got lucky enough just before COVID to get a job with a big player in the game for food and beverages, going to wholesalers. Started out in Woodbank, then moved into Pretoria, Rustenburg, Limpopo. Was doing big things, big numbers. Did that for about 2 years, but once again, plateaued. But out of everyone, compared to everyone, definitely the best company that I've worked for so far. Basics like your pension, they had a company car, company fuel, all the right noise in terms of training and stuff. But the training for me, I don't think it was specifically relevant. And then I was like, cool, no stress, moving on. And then try getting to a dealership, got a job at a dealership, ready to go, move on. Chigi Chigi, on day comes to sign this contract. Sales manager's like, nah, we're moving. Excuse. It's been about 6 weeks now. Still haven't signed the contract. So, we keep it moving. A couple of interviews are coming on. More, again, once in sales. But now it's for, I would say, a financial institution. Yeah, financial institution. Big company, once again. Big brand. But I think what I'm trying to get to is that, I've been through the line through sales where it was either fixed income or a small amount of commission, or now where it is a small basic, but the commission structure is amazing, where you guys are making about 30 on average a month, going up to 50. You get big clients, you can make about 70 to 100K in that month. So what I want to do now, starting this channel as a South African sales guy, is let's look at some of these jobs online. Let's look at the barrier of entry. Do you need a matric? Do you need a car? Do you need any kind of form of formal qualification? Do you need industry experience or industry qualification, like the financial industry or insurance industry, or you need specific certificates? Will they pay for your training, your education, that kind of stuff? And then let's actually start building out what the industry is about. Obviously, we're not going to get all the full resource that we want, but I think it would be better to just kind of put the peers out there, put it online, and let's see how we can generate this community. Because at the end of the day, I feel like if I had known or if I had people in my network to tell me that in actual fact, there's no point in you wasting your time. There's no waste. I've gained experience. There's no point in actually doing sales in this industry because you can benefit more for being in this industry. And then that's an opportunity cost of lost commission. That's an opportunity cost of lost time invested, But at the end of the day, sales is down to you as a person, in my opinion, and as well as your upbringing and how you can function talking to people. So I'll never really get into, I don't know, I'm not going to say that I won't get into how to be a good salesman or anything like that, but I will maybe just dive into some experiences that I've had. So for example, part of my side hustle is I sell flowers. And then it was Mother's Day, I was just giving out some of the products that I had online. I'd already bought them, so they're going to die anyway. So you just put a little card there and you just go to the people in the complex or whoever's walking and you give them out. And hopefully they'll go online and register and all that kind of stuff and think of you when they need to buy. But I'll imagine this, I'm in the complex, it's about 5:30, so it's relatively light outside. And there's an elderly woman who's there. And I'm giving her the flowers, but she's so apprehensive. She's kind of scared, So I knew that at the very least, and I only realized this after I spoke to my partner about it, that instead of walking up to her because she was openly engaging with me, I took 2 steps back. I showed that I wasn't aggressive or looking to hurt or anything. And then I introduced myself. I said what I do with my side hustle, and I would just like to give you these flowers, please. So I asked her permission to approach her. And then she dropped her guard. And then I took 1 step forward, and she took 1 step forward. Gave her the flowers, said thank you very much, very respectful, and moved on. So, yeah, it depends on you. I'm not saying that this video will make you a better salesperson or not, or to improve your EQ, but let's see what sales jobs are out there. Let's raise awareness, because I think that a lot of people have got the matric, they've got the gift of the gab, they know how to talk, they know how to share, they know how to do their thing, but they're maybe not looking at the right place. So let's investigate some of these jobs, and then let's see the type of community community that we can build. So, like I said, Thabo, the sales guy or the South African sales guy, let's see what we can do.